Hi, welcome back to the Art Corner. I'm Lisa Sneed. Today we are going to do my happy place, the beach. This one's very colorful, but you've got silhouettes in it, so it'll be kind of simple. I hope you all will try this at home. I think it'll be a lot of fun, but this will make us all feel good. So we're going to get started today with background first. I did go ahead and chalk in a horizon, just to kind of show where the water stops and starts and the sky begins. Very, very colorful. So what I'm going to do first of all is start with my background. And you can see there's a lot of purple. I got this reference just from a calendar I found. I really couldn't decide what to do today. And I thought, where do I want to be? At the beach. So I thought you all might feel the same way, especially with all this rain. Got my water. Got a palette full of a few colors we'll be using this morning. Let's start with kind of a watercolor technique. I'm going to sort of wet my canvas a little bit with water, and that'll help hopefully my paint go on just a little smoother. I would use a medium to a large brush to do this background because it'll help it. You could actually use one larger than this. And I probably should. But I've made 4,000 trips back and forth getting supplies, so I think we'll just stick with this one. Okay? I think that's wet enough. You don't want it dripping, but you do want, you know, some water to cover these canvas holes. And what I'm going to start with up here is some purple. This is a high velocity. It's kind of a shiny purple, actually. I'm going to put a little bit of blue in it. Add a little water. Ooh, that's real high velocity. I mean, this is going to be really bright. That's okay. Try to mix this. If you can see this palette area, I think let's start right up here. Get some blue, purple on here. Like I said, I wanted one easy enough where you can try this. I don't want to make these so hard that you feel defeated or that you think, well, you know, I could never do something like that. Yes, you can. These pieces are fun. They're attainable. Here we go. Now I added a little bit of white to this. I love white mixed in just about everything because it's almost like a primer. It helps that paint blend, and it can change the color if you add too much, so you have to kind of get used to how much to use, how much to leave off. Now I'm starting to feel like I'm there already. If I had a breeze, we'd be good. Here we go. You can see some of the canvas through this, and that's fine. But I'm just going to lightly, I don't want it so strong that it takes away from the serenity. I may alter this art reference just a little bit, just for my own pleasing. Here we go. Adding a little more white. This is just a 16 by 20 canvas, but really, a beach scene or something a little more contemporary, go for a little larger canvas. You'll just have to use the larger brush, but a larger canvas you don't really even have to frame. You can just stick it over a couch and all by itself. Here we go. I'm going to add a little more blue. Try to get this finished before I start. Here we go. Let's get a little deeper here. The palm trees, my little boats, and my little cottage on here are all going to be black. So we don't have to worry about it drying too much. All right. I'm going to add a little darker right in here. A little more water. All right, just for some drama. Let me blend it out a little more. Remind myself not to drink coffee out of that after a while. All right, now let's start with the oranges. We'll come on down. We can always go back and add some more blue if we need to later. Yellow and red. These are high velocity acrylics for sure. My sister gave me these. And I hadn't tried them yet, but these are working out good. All right. Now, if you'll notice, that orange kind of blends in with some of this blue for high drama. Here we go. Looks like this is a sunset. There we go. I'm going to add a little up in here. There we go. Pull it into that blue some. I'm slinging water. Now I'm going to get into the yellow and a little white. As we come down, let's lighten it up a bit. Looks like it's on fire. Smooth, smooth, smooth. Use your water medium, blending medium to get rid of these canvas holes. And if you want to, while you're at it, you can go around the side and get your ends. A lot of people are real anal about that. I really don't care that much. I like it kind of rough on the edges. Here we go. As a matter of fact, I've bought oils before because they were rough on the edges. I just think they look cool. All right, here we go. I'm going down. I'm going to keep it orange down here. Just like the art reference here. Just keep it orange all the way down. This will help with the drama. It looks like it's on fire. It really does. Remember, with acrylic, water is your friend. This is your blending medium. Here we go. Now I'm lightening up some, and then I'm going to add some more clouds along. Here's my horizon right in here. I'm going to add a few little purpley clouds when we get down there. There we go. How's that for drama? Better than a bunny. Bring it down, bring it down. Here we go. Counting the days when I'll be in a spot like this. Hope you are too. All right, now I'm on my horizon right here. You know, I read this morning, whenever you get seasick, if you're on a cruise or let's say you're on a boat somewhere at the ocean, sailors use an old trick, keeping their eyes on the horizon. So whenever you're at the beach or you're on a little boat fishing or doing whatever and you're starting to get sick, find the horizon and keep your eyes on it. And that'll keep you from getting seasick. Here we are. Right here. Adding a little more purple clouds right along the bottom here. You see that? How we want to keep it smooth. And to keep it smooth, just take your brush back and forth, kind of like a ship out at sea. Here we go, right like this, back and forth. Keep it smooth down here, smooth down here. This is to make it look, I want to make this look distant down here, okay? Now, my art reference has a little orange, and when you add orange and all the blues and stuff, you might even get a little bit of a brownie look, which is fine. That'll help it look far away. Here we go. More and more. Let's get that on out. There we go. Now, I'm going to get a smaller brush, just a little smaller, and I'm going to do a few clouds down low, okay? So let me get some of my dark, and I want to make it look brown, so I'm going to add a little bit of, here we go. Add a little bit of red, and that takes it down to a darker color. And right down here, I want to add just a few clouds. I want them small because they're far away. Okay, but dry brush just a few clouds down here low. These little angled nylon brushes are my favorite. You can do sharp points. You can do all kinds of things with these little goobers. They work real well. I like them better than the, the mohair or the hair brushes. And I know a lot of professional artists use those and they're great. But for some reason, I've just been hooked on these and they just seem to work really well. Here we go. Some more clouds down low. Keep an eye on your art reference always. If you don't, you'll lose your place. You can do it out of your head. I have a lot of students in my art class that do a lot of art out of their head. But I can't help them a lot because their head's different than my head. So it's hard for me to be able to see what they see. I like for them to use an art reference so I can help them see depth, dimension, light perspective, vanishing point, all those things you need to learn. Let's do a few. I'm gonna darken this just a little bit, make some of these. Here we go. It's a little darker down here. And they don't have to be perfect, we just want them there. Now as they get further away, they're smaller, way back in this area down here. There we go. A few little strays. Am I sounding like Bob Ross? I don't mean to. Here we go. Get my horizon. Okay. Now, this art reference does show a dark area here, so I'm going to add it. I think it will help with some of the drama in this picture. There may have been a storm earlier and it's gone away, so. Now, if you start getting too much water, you could run into a drip or two, so be sure to dab it off on your paper towel so you don't get too much water. Here we go. Ta-da! All right, y'all, this is going to make me quit my job and go to the beach. This is hard to do. Next, we want to reflect the sun onto the water. So I'm going to get back into my orange. Once again, I'm keeping my eye on the horizon. So let's get into the bright orange again down here at the bottom. I probably should do a bigger brush. Let me do that. Help it go by just a little faster. Here we go. See how much better a larger brush does? It just... Add my white. It's not wanting to blend. So I just really use white to help make them push together. Now I know that looks bright, and it really does. Let me add some more yellow. There we go. Let me add a little white to it so it'll stick. Ta-da. See how the white helps lift that yellow up off that red? Now this is all, I'm going to take some of that off my brush. This is all a reflection of the leftover sun for the day. Make sure your horizon is straight. If you need to measure it before you get started, do it. I'm all over this easel. Now this is the fun, easy part. Palm trees are easy too. You're going to love palm trees. Here we go. If you have a few little long straight lines, that's okay. This is water. We want it to kind of look like water. So let's get some of those long straight lines in here. Let's make it look a little more watery. There we go. Now, area up here that was yelling at me. There we go. I hope this is showing some drama. I think it is. One more time, I'm going to work on these little clouds and then we're going to start into our silhouettes. Changed brushes just because I needed to get just a clean edge. Let's take these way down low, make them small down in here like this. There we go. It's starting to go into a distance, I hope. That's what this is for. I'm in that browny purpley color. And you know what? Sometimes you just can't paint how pretty a sunset is or a sunrise. I have been absolutely astounded sometimes by a sunset or a sunrise. They are magnificent. And you only see so many in your lifetime. So anytime you do get the opportunity to see one, stop. Now, let's start with our palm trees. I'm going to move palettes. I'm going to move this over here. And the main thing with these palm trees and the scenery in this particular scene is black. So, it's a little Mars black, and I'm really going to lay it to it. There we go. All right, looks like there's a little tiki hut of some kind in this particular picture. So I'm starting with a clean brush. And I'm going to, here's your horizon. My tiki hut comes out about right here. And this black will look great against the orange. The drama is cool. I'm going to bring it about right here. Don't get too far away from your canvas because you'll lose control. It's better to have your arm down on a table or have it against. A lot of artists will use a stick and then have their arm leaned against a stick of some sort to balance their arm as you make straight lines, okay? Here we go. Straight line. Now, that's about where it stops. Looks like there's a little tiki hut that goes right up above the horizon. Let's do it just in black. Just a little round dome. Silhouettes are easy. No color, just black. We've done all our color in the background. Here we go. I tell you what else I love are the black canvas they have now out in stores. Black canvas are beautiful to paint on. And a lot of my students really like it. I do too. If you mess up, you just go over it with black. But they are a real dramatic, cool thing to use. Okay, do my little supports on my tiki hut down here in black. Looks like there's also another pier of some sort back here. I'm going to include that. Once again, I have my arm stabilized on the table to make it straight. So let's get all this architecture back here. So you know you're probably at a resort or something. All this stuff going on. There's even some land, it looks like, back in here. Let's do a little land image back in here. Might be a distant pier, not sure what it is, but it's there. Easy peasy, just get your brush, go up and down with your point. It kind of gives you the image of something being back there in the distance. Straight line, straight line. Now, this little pier or whatever it is we have has got a shadow in the water. So with leftover paint, I want to put a little bit of a black shadow on the water right here. This will help it, and since it is taller here, that shadow goes down like this. Don't make it perfect, don't make it strong. It's in the water, so the reflection is going to be very light, but it is certainly there. Same thing with this up here. Let's do a reflection on it. Very light, very light. There we go. And that will help make it look like it's reflecting off something. Okay. Next is the fun part. Well, let's do the boats first. Let me get a little smaller brush. Once again, it's these little nylon angles. Get off my excess water. It's been sitting in the water. And let's do a little boat over here. Lord, I do sound like Bob Ross. Okay, there we go. Just a little teeny ship. Smaller it is, the bigger your water and sky are going to look. So let's do him small. He's got a lid on him. But it's important he's there. All right, there's the body. Here's the top. Couple of flags off this little boat. Now, my art reference here doesn't really show a reflection, but in order for it to look real, let's add just a small reflection here. Or a shadow on the water, just a little one. Let me get leftover. Tiny, tiny. There we go. Now there's another one. It's longer. It's still in the water. I'm gonna make him really, really small. Well, he's long, but he's little. There's the lid on him. Couple of flags. Looks like they might all be together. Once again, the reflection below him. And with water, it's good to maybe get a little white and run through your reflection with just a little white so that it does look like they're in the water. Okay? All right. Now this is the fun part. These are your palm trees. Now, I'm winging this. I am not chalked this on or anything, so bear with me. Hang on, I'll put another little pole here, another pole here. It looks like it might fall. All right. This one's going to start off the page down here, and it does come up above the horizon a little. This one is the lower one. So I'm going to start right, I sort of compare. It's right below my little tiki hut. Right here. I'm going to bring it up. Stop him about right there, okay? Get your black and fill that in. And with a tree, please remember, closer to the top, it's more narrow. And as you head toward the bottom, it thickens up. If you do it the other way around, it ain't gonna look right. Here we go. How fun is this? Bring it down, bring it down. And these palm trees are wavy and weird. I love them. Now there's even a little something down in here on my art reference, maybe a little ground right down here. All right, now let's do the palm tree leaves. Get your smaller angled brush, make sure it's sharp. And you can sharpen that by, you know, just brushing it across your palette like this, and that sharpens it. Now, you've got a little area right in here where you might have some coconuts or something. Let's get those on. Then, sharpening my brush, I want to take this and take it and pull it down like that. And you want to make sure when you come down, you lighten up at the end. Just pull it like that. Then we're going to have one that's going to come down like that. Aren't palm trees the coolest? Here we go. Now, that'll give us a good start. These little these little nylon angle brushes. Look, they do great palm trees. Make this kind of thick down here. Once again, it's a silhouette, so we want it black and dark against all that pretty color. There's a couple little strays. And if it's too perfect, it's not going to look real, so make sure you have a few strays. Keeping my elbow down, my coffee's making me shaky. Bring it down. Just stabilize that arm. If you're shaky, stabilize it. There we go. Here's another one. All right, y'all, I'm about to walk out. Ready to head to the beach. I can almost smell it. Now, pull that, pull that, pull that. Okay, this one is going to be a little bit wiry and crazy up here. Don't you just love that salt air? That's one of my favorite things when you first get to the beach. It has such a distinct, wonderful, salty smell. They say it's so good for you. Just a week or two is therapeutic. Now I'm going to make some of these a little thicker, but let me at least get them in place. Ooh. You can see how that wiggled? You need to put your elbow down. Elbow down. Get these palm branches on here. You know, if I had time, I'd do a pelican on here. They're so prehistoric looking. I think they are cool. Big birds. And those nervous little seagulls, you know which ones I'm talking about? Not the big seagulls, but the little teeny ones that wander around the sand. They look like they're a nervous wreck. I love those. I forget what they're called. Now I'm thickening up some of these palm branches just with leftover paint, not losing my spikes, but just getting some of them a little thicker than we had them, like that. You don't necessarily see the sky through some of this. My husband and I sat on the beach a couple years ago and watched a crab work all day long, just throwing sand. He'd walk down in that little hole. Here goes another tree. Hang on a second. Right here. Pull this one way up. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and get this one on here. So we've got both of our palm trees at least placed. Remember, they're narrow at the top. And as we come down, they get a little thicker. We watched that little crab go down in that hole. He'd come out, look at us, throw sand. Run down that hole, look at us, throw sand. That was fun. All right, this one's a little smaller. Now, on this palm tree, I think I'm going to go just a little larger brush because it's going to have a little more presence. So let's get our, this one's got a little wallery edge. This one goes straight out. This one goes straight up. And if you have a little leftover, that's okay because there's some junk in these palm trees. Sharpen your brush. If you don't, you'll get a big glob. And it's hard to overcome a glob once you've already done that pretty background. You don't want a big glob on there. All right, and then one down here. And if they run into each other, that's okay. Sharpen this smaller brush, and let's start doing these go down, straight down. This is a gnarly one. Okay. Let me sharpen my brush. Add a few gnarly little palm trees. You don't want it to be perfect. It's not going to look real. There we go. Elbow down. You see me shaking. Okay. Start this one over here. Isn't that pretty? I love this black with all this color. Easy peasy, folks. Sharpen my brush. It should take one stroke for you to be able to tell if your brush is sharp or not. There we go. It's just black. It's all we're using. Just take it up to your vein and pull straight down. Oop, sharpen my brush. Okay, I'm going to switch brushes again. We need a little more body on these things. Make sure it's sharp. The bigger ones are a little more important to sharpen. If you'll notice, I really haven't added a lot of water, but if you don't add enough, you'll get canvas holes. So make sure you use your blending medium with acrylic, which is water. There we go. Now this is going to go kind of straight up. Don't want a lot of air in between. I want some drama back here. So let's make this kind of thick. And we'll get skinny. Let it go on off the canvas. Don't stop it short. Just let it go on off. It's okay. Now one time we may do a contemporary on the art corner. You'll think I'm crazy, but it'll be a lot of fun. You can just really be loose and do whatever, but it's a big look right now, and I think we might do that next time. Do some kind of a contemporary painting. There we go. I'm gonna do some separation in this palm tree right here, just to give it make it look more real. There's one below it. Now, in order to get rid of the kind of a spidery look that we're getting, let's get in here and get this black. Larger brush. Here we go. Just want that a little darker. Get rid of that. Just too airy. It's just a little too airy. Here we go. You can still see your palm branches, but we need a little thickness in here. Okay. Same here. Let's get this and fill some of that in. Right in here. Adding water. I'm starting to see canvas holes. There we go. This looks like it might be an older, more mature palm tree. Get rid of those canvas holes. That's kind of a pet peeve of mine. And some of the canvas you buy now it's harder to get rid of those. The better the canvas you have, the less canvas holes you're going to have. They're gessoed better. All right, one more little palm area right here. Let's make this one just a little smaller and maybe have a different look. Let's have it kind of come up and down like this more. You don't want them the same. Let's just bring it down. They really go pretty quick. Little globby right in there. Yeah, I like this one being not quite, they need to all have sort of a different shape to look realistic. There we go. Now, changing brushes again. Oop, sharpen that, Lisa, I keep forgetting. There we go. Let's let it interact with the other one just a little bit. Don't get too messy with it. Step back. I'm going to tell you another tip. If you're struggling with whether or not you like one of your paintings, get up and walk away. Leave the room for a little while. Sharpen my brush. Leave the room for a little while. Go get a cup of coffee, get a drink of water, get on the phone, come back, take a look at your painting, and it'll tell you whether or not your perspective is correct, your shadows are right. It'll really help you a lot gain perspective on your painting. You can look at something too much. Also, just get back and get away, get back here and look at it, and that will help you too. Adding just a little drama. Get a little thicker in here. I can tell you that right now. That needs to be thicker. There we go. This one might need a little thicker too. There we go. There we go. Your basic beach, let's get the heck out of Dodge scene. I hope everybody's going to get to do that. I can't wait. Won't be long. All right. There you go. Basic beach scene. Thank you so much for joining me today in the Art Corner. I'll see you next time. Stay creative.